Hello everybody, I'm here with Rod and Dana. There are a couple of clients who just finished up flipping actually not one but two houses almost simultaneously. And so we're gonna do an interview with them, and they're gonna share their experiences and the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and talk about how ultimately they made a whole lot of money in a very short amount of time. So Rod, Dana, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
And so I appreciate you guys taking this time. And I'll just start off by saying, tell me a little bit about yourself and what made you want to do this crazy thing we call flipping houses, where I think you maybe have a few screws loose, because it takes a certain type of individual to want to go and buy a house, deal with contractors, like totally gut it out and do all these things, and then put it on the market to flip it. I know a lot of people I talk to, including close family members, think I'm nuts.
Well, now that we know you, we know they're right.
Yeah, they are.
Go ahead, Dana. Why don't you start it off?
Oh, well, I think I started off actually with a friend, and I wanted to do something, and that particular house didn't work out, and I mentioned it to Rod, and forgot that he had a lot of experience in owning properties and doing rentals, and the opportunity just presented itself that we were both interested in it at the same time. And so we, through this other friend, led us to a real estate company that specialized in finding properties for flips. And we just started down the path, and next thing you know, we had two homes.
Yeah, and from my side, I had forgotten about this as an opportunity. And when she mentioned it, I said, my goodness, why aren't we doing this? Because I always enjoy this. It's a mix of things. She's creative. I'm kind of the numbers guy. So, that's what got us into it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know after getting to know you guys that you guys are both somewhat analytical. Like, I know you're a big numbers guy. And so that's my thing, that's why I got into it, was because on the majority of the deals that we do, or most all the deals that we do, at least going into it, the numbers make sense. Right. So I know although when I first got started, the first few deals that I did, I was very, very nervous and very scared, because I'm like, are these numbers true? Are they accurate? And a lot of customers and a lot of people that we talk to, they never take action because what if?
Fear, right.
Fear. So what was it with you guys? Was it just numbers, or what else kind of helped you overcome that? Because the property that we're going to talk about specifically, you paid 200 and some, or was it 300 something?
No, it was about $335.
335 was the purchase price of the property, and you guys ended up spending 100.
We spent about 105 on the property.
105,000. Okay, so that's close to $500,000 on a property in a market that is still recovering. And so what fears did you guys have, if any? I'm assuming you had some, and kind of what helped you overcome those, say, no, we're going to do this?
Well, speaking for myself, and I think partly for her, there's two kinds of fears for us. There's the kind of fear that I think we consider normal, and we both recognize that for what it is. The normal apprehension. Do we understand the market? Do we understand the cost of what we're going to do? And in this case, and in every deal that we've done, it's been overwhelmingly that we understood that that's normal. You pin it down as much as you can. Then there's the other kind of fear, and when your stomach is telling you, don't do this. And, we've walked away from plenty of deals because of that fear. So, I would say don't ignore your gut, but when the numbers are right, they're right, man, and you got to move. Yeah. And I could tell you a story about this one house that you're mentioning. It came on the market on a Sunday night, and I was sitting there, I saw it pop up on my screen, and I said, it's Sunday night. So I called her, and we made an appointment to go see it the following morning instead of that night. It was sold.
Before we got to
sold.
It had option pending, and I said, it's got option pending. And
so, it's what you're talking about. You got to move. And then what happened was something fell through, whatever, it's not important. We wound up getting it 2 weeks later, and we bought it,
For more money.
you know,
You
for,
paid more money.
We had to pay more.
yeah, it was a few bucks more, but, I
But
mean,
we
we
did
made
get it,
that
yeah.
decision in like 15 minutes at the house. So you gotta move,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing of knowing your numbers, being comfortable, and then, you know, I always tell people if you're really an entrepreneur and you're really serious, you can't hesitate.
No.
Because the opportunity will not last. Like it may knock. If you don't answer right away, a lot of times it's gone. And that's happened to myself, and it's happened with a lot of customers that I've spoke to have lost the deal because they hesitated.
Yeah.
But it has to be the right one.
And it has to be,
You can't-
no, it has to be the right one. And I've literally met with clients and students, and like they've found a deal, came to me about it, and I've let them know, if you don't do this deal, I will do this deal.
Right.
And sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. And a lot of times, sadly, they'll see someone else make money off that deal.
Well, this particular case, you know, we bought it for $335, put about $105 in it, more or less. We sold it for $590.
Yeah.
That's not so bad.
So-
It took less than, what, 4 months?
Well, yeah,
About
Four or
4
6
months.
about 4 months from
Yeah.
start to, was it
Yeah.
4 or 6?
It's in that
Almost
time
about.
frame.
Yeah.
We bought it in, what, September? And we sold it in January, more or less.
September, October, November, January.
Yeah.
Take
4
your
months.
4 to 6 months.
4 to 5 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about, before we get, we'll talk maybe about that in a second, but tell me about, so one of the big fears is first buying the property, closing on the property. That's the first step. The next hurdle you have to overcome is dealing with contractors. So what fears did you have with that just in general, and then what kind of experience did you have? And yes, of course, you worked with us, but no holds barred, like whatever you want to say, let us know. Because I know there were some mistakes and some things that happened, but what was your fears going into it, and how did it work out?
Well, I think the smartest thing we did was listen to the people who gave us recommendations. And we got your recommendation because the group that we bought the property from wants us to have success, so they want to refer a good contractor. And so we took their advice. Instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, we went with their recommendation, and
Yeah, and we
contrary
did
to
talk
what
to,
Rod says, I think you did a great job.
well, we talked to a couple contractors,
We did.
and, you know, there are guys all over the board, but, you know, at the end of the day,
We usually pay people for really good references, so that's working out well for us.
well, you know, I think we were just very comfortable. Your group is organized, data flows, and, you know, you helped us with value engineering on this thing. And that's important. I mean, the return on some of these things is just not there. Now, we did disagree with you on a couple things, and we did them anyway, and we're happy about that. But on balance, I think that's a major value add, that somebody like us doesn't have the experience, you know, and we appreciate that input. We don't just want a builder who builds because you're going to make more money the more you build. If it doesn't make sense, tell us, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
And we benefited from that, I think.
And another thing, you know, y'all actually hired a designer and a consultant, and that's really, really valuable, because I see so many people that they don't want to spend that money. And I'm talking about people who have zero experience,
That's
and they want to
suicide.
come in and do that. And then I'm not trying to, you know, get a big ego or a big head, but I see guys who've never been in this business, and they come in and they want to do this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, how many houses have you done? Zero. I'm like,
Right.
we've done 400 or 500 now. That's like me going to the doctor and say, no, doc, I don't need this. Go ahead and give me this. Like, why am I even going to seek his advice? So you guys were you were seeking wisdom, experience, and it paid off.
When we went into this, our very bottom line was, we just don't want to lose money on this. Let's see how it goes. Let's see if we like it, if we enjoy working together. And so hiring you and hiring an interior designer to know what's on trend, that people will buy, made a difference. It was worth it to us.
Yeah.
We
And you
definitely exceeded your goal
Yes,
of
we
not
did.
to
Yes,
lose
we did.
money.
We did.
Well, and if these deals turn
Yes.
on a couple $1,000s, you shouldn't do them.
Yeah,
It's that
no.
simple.
Mhm.
And both of our houses sold the first day,
So,
same day.
so the first house you bought for $330 something, spent about $105,000, sold it for $190. I'm sorry, $590. After all of your holding costs, what type of financing did you use on the property? Did you or?
It was out of pocket, it was out of our pocket.
It was a cash,
Yeah.
so you had no holding costs. Okay, there's pros and cons on that. But so, and then whenever, so you sold the property, realtor's fees, if you don't mind sharing, what was your, not the gross profit, but your net profit, what you took, what you're gonna get taxed on at the end of the day?
On this particular house, let me see now, it was about $80,000.
Okay, it's incredible. That's we call that a home run deal.
Yeah.
Anything that's relatively quick, 4 to 6 months, about 50,000, you know, like no disasters, like that's a great deal. Typical margins, although it's in our particular market, it's changing. The margins are going up, but a few years ago, in the market before, like the average profit that you could expect would be like $20,000 to $25,000, but the deals that we were doing were selling in the $150,000 to $250,000 range. So of course risk is going up. We're going into higher numbers, but that's a really good return on your investment, and really awesome job.
We look at this as our competition being new construction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't look at this as, and in this neighborhood, we set a new standard for what things sell for.
Right.
So, you know, when you look at the new construction, I mean, somebody could do our deal and essentially get a new house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you did. I mean, it's essentially a new house for a pretty steep discount on new construction. I think that was an important point there.
Right.
Well, and I know that you guys voiced a lot of many times throughout the project that you know, honestly, like I told you guys, certain things like you didn't really need to do, but y'all wanted to do because you wanted to provide top of the line product to the buyer, and that's whenever people are. I'm talking to people who are thinking about getting into flipping. One of the real reasons, like I'm attracted to it. One, it's a lot of fun. Two, you can make a lot of money. But three, whenever you really boil it down, it's really you have an unfair advantage in the marketplace. I mean, in the marketplace being that particular subdivision, because if you buy the property at the right amount, like you buy it low enough, which requires having patience and doing your due diligence, but if you buy it at the right price, whenever you go to fix it up, when you do the rehab, you'll have enough money in your rehab to fix it up as nice or better than everything else in that market, as long as you don't need to remodel it, but you can have everything, you can buy it lower than everything, remodel it as nice or nicer than everything, and usually we can price it the same or even cheaper and move it, make a really nice profit. But you know, we have a better product than every other house on the market typically, but we're able to price it the same or cheaper. And then occasionally, and so it's really an unfair advantage in terms of the business model that we're able to put out. And then in markets like this, what we're doing what's on some of ours, we're raising the bar. Like, no, we can push it because inventory is really low. Let's go ahead and swing for the fences, and that's what you guys did.
Well, I think it's in the neighborhoods that we are in, you have the existing homes that haven't been updated on these years, and then you have builders coming in and tearing down. And I think what we do is somewhere in between, and it's a nice option, even over and above the homeowners who remodel their own.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same. Those who remodel their own homes won't pop the ceilings, or they won't do it all at one time. It'll be piecemeal, and it'll just look like it's an updated home. And so, you know, I've learned a lot through all this too, because I've lived in a home that I've renovated a room and think that it's not all that. It's not the same as gutting out the entire house and even redesigning the way people live today versus the way they did when homes were built in the 60s.
We changed the floor plan, that's right.
Changed the floor plan enough to add the new master closets or open up the kitchen, take down all these tiny hallways. So it adds a new desirable commodity in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it's fun, it's very creative.
It is, and if you're wired like me, like, call me crazy, but walking around houses and
It's a
checking
lot
on
of fun.
guys and moving stuff
It's a lot of
around
fun.
and thinking about how to move stuff in colors and, you know, light fixtures and landscaping and kind of the whole, I call it adult babysitting with the guys and motivating them to get down and push deadlines, which I know we didn't meet every deadline that we had set out, but still pushing and striving. It's, in a weird way, it's fun.
Yeah, it is
You
fun.
know, and
It's
so,
great.
yeah. Well, so real quickly, you guys purchased your first and second deal right at the same time. Give me some numbers on the other deal that you did also.
Well, the other deal, we paid a little more for, I think it was $349.
$359.
$350.
$359.
Yeah, and we put, I think at the end of the day, it was about $95,000 into that one.
Right. And we consider that our first house.
Yeah.
Um,
Because then when you closed a month later, about around the same time, I know there's a delay.
Yeah.
So.
And
So,
that's-
go ahead, I'm sorry.
that's the one that we really were kind of cutting our teeth on, and we thought we want to do it the way we would want to live in it. So we leveled the floors, we raised the ceilings, things that other homes might not have done. And even though we might not have made quite the same profit, we still made a very nice profit. And it had that wow factor. In fact, the person who was with us at the beginning that kind of steered us in this direction came into the house after it was done. He said, "Oh my gosh, the ceilings." He said, "This is like a different house." He said, "This is like a contemporary home." So those things.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, that was a good result. Probably a little more normal. That other one was extraordinary, I think.
Yeah.
But we sold that for $575. So if you look at what's going to show on a W-2 after all the fees and whatnot, and Dana's a realtor, but we always look at that as an arm's length kind of thing. And I think that's important, otherwise you're investing to get realty fees, what do you need to do that for, right? But, on an arm's length basis, we made about 40 on that one. It's not bad.
and
It's not bad.
You know what, had it been another few months down the road, we might have made even more.
Yeah, we could have priced it higher.
Because we got full price offers on those homes.
So the other thing, the other viewpoint on that is maybe, and there's a chance you may have priced it exactly right.
Exactly.
That's
So
We're very happy.
I've done the get greedy with my pricing, and you can hear the crickets chirping,
Right.
and there's not a contract. Then you lower that price, whatever that market is, $5,000, $10,000, boom, it's gone. And so I've done that before, where we'll sell a house, we'll get a contract right away, and Chris and I are like, we left $25,000 on the table.
Right.
We could have,
It's
but
normal.
maybe not.
Right,
Like,
maybe not.
yeah.
Right.
So maybe, but you may have priced it exactly right.
No, we're very happy with both, and we've gone on, we've purchased another one to do. So for us, this has become a new business opportunity for us. We've done other things together, and this is probably the most fun we've had, actually.
Yes.
This one actually makes money.
We've had the highs and lows of business interests, and
Yeah.
this one, we're both have I think everybody has a little bit of a creative flair to them, and mine is professionally educated in that area, so it's.
Oh, pardon
it's
me.
nice. No, well, that's my way of saying I don't have a business degree. I have a
Yeah.
degree. But, so it's been very rewarding, and I'm with the market doing well, that helps. So.
Well, roughly 6 months, 2 deals, $120,000. Job well done.
All right,
End it with the fist bump.
looking forward to the next one.
End it with the fist bump. Commend you guys for
Thank
taking
you.
action,
Thank you.
having tremendous success, and nothing happens on accident. Like, you guys are deserve everything you've gotten because you've taken action, been very very wise in how you've gone about your investments, and I think it's an incredible start, and I really appreciate you sharing that with everybody.
Not a problem.
And hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
Well, he's great to work with, and we thank you. We obviously couldn't have done it without you.
I'll pay you later for the
Well, you don't
motion.
have, I mean, it's true.